In his book, the late Harold Hahn published some drawings and dimensions of cannon carriages. It involved some factors that are based on the size of the cannon and the scale you're working with. I used this to redraw the carriage parts for the small 6-pounder and a scale of 1 to 64. This I then used to make the various parts for the 16 carriages I need for my next build. The sides of the carriages are the most complicated. I use my mini milling machine to cut the various grooves in a block of Swiss pear. After cutting the concave bottom and the 2 slots for the axle trees, I flipped the block over and cut the small slot for the trunnions and then the 4 steps as shown over here. Then it was a matter of cutting thin slices from this log. At first I cut a few by hand, but then I quickly switched over to my small table saw. I needed 34 pieces, but cut a few extras just in case. You can see that it is important to have matching pieces left and right. The reason is that the next step is to add 2 eye bolts plus a ring to each of them. The 2 holes were drilled with a number 75 bit, which I mounted in this Dremel-like tool. It's an old one I've had for many years. And then this was mounted in my drill press so that I could make repetitive pieces. After inserting the eye bolts, I epoxied them to the back side. I needed at least 64 tiny eye bolts. So here is how I made them. I start with about 1 inch of 10 mil thick steel wire. I make a loop and then grab the ends of the wire with this hammer snap. It's a little hard to see, but it is just the end of the wires that are being clamped there. Then I put this inside the vise such that the little eye sticks out at the far end. I made a hook from a steel brad and then dismounted in this pin vise. The hook goes through the loop and I start twisting. I stop this twisting when the eye and the shaft look about right. Here is the finished piece except for cutting it off. You can also see here what some of them look like. To make the wheels, I use a piece of 1/4 by 1/4 inch boxwood. It machines very nicely, and when mounted here in the lathe, I now turn the section down to the diameter of the wheel. I only go about 7/8 of an inch or so, and that yields about 5 or 6 wheels. When I get close to the diameter that I want, I give the lips a little sanding and then make it ready to get the cutoff wheel in position, the cutoff bit. This is a very narrow bit that is a 40 thousandths of an inch wide, and I use it first to trim off the end of the part, and that then in turn gives me the reference point for machining the wheels by afterwards moving the carriage to the left. And for that I use a dial indicator to take the diameter of that cutoff wheel plus the 55 thousandths of the wheel itself. So then I also need to drill the hole through the center. And I start this with a drill bit that is very stiff rather than the actual drill that comes afterwards, which is a 1/16 of an inch in diameter and has a tendency to just wander off. So this initial drill, center drill, will do the job. Here you can see the final drilling and the dial indicator that I then use to step the carriage off to the left and start the cutting of the first wheel. When that first part comes off, the bit is then realigned, and I can cut 5 or 6 of these wheels, as you see right here. I made the shafts, 2 of them on each carriage, the same way. The ends are turned, and the flat part of the 3-axle will fit into the 2 grooves of the sides of the carriage. I made a little fixture with 2 slots that are spaced the right distance, and it also has the slight taper to it, so that when the part is then mounted to the side of this fixture, it is bonded to the axles and positioned with that little tapered plate. Then also there are a number of these wedges that are part of the structure, and also I had to drill some holes in the side for the black iron strap that holds these parts in position. To the left you can see some of the finished parts, but after the hole is drilled, I then had to insert, here I'm drilling through the second part on the other side, and then once that is done with this number 75 drill, this blackened brass rod is inserted. After that is done, the ends get taken off, clipped off with this cut-off tool, which is a nice nipper, incidentally. There are a few more details, but here at least you can see the top and the bottom of what these parts now look like. A few additions include the new barrels, but here is an old one, and for now that should do it.